Maria, you want to speak to that? Now, this is Maria Cantonacci. She is the one who has been overseeing the development of the curriculum on our team. So when these curriculum kinds of questions come up, I always refer them to her. So
I can certainly speak to within our curriculum, but I don't think I can answer it about the college.
No, you wouldn't answer it about the college.
As long as we're clear.
Yeah.
So again, we selected Latin to ensure that not only just for the marriage between the language of Latin and science and the way it supports sciences. However, it is also known to be one of the languages that supports English, ELA. Our ELA scores for our students need to be focused on. We need to ensure that we're providing the proper support. And Latin is a language that can also help our students to better prepare for the ELA exam. So that's why we're offering it there at the charter school.
And as far as we at Old Westbury, we'll have to, that may be one of the places where the charter school helps us to bring up our program. But of course, you know, like this gentleman pointed out, we have to find the money to pay the Latin teacher. And the state cuts back on us, too. That's true. Sir?
Yes, sir. You have a very impressive and rigorous curriculum that you have outlined to the students. And would there be a concern that because there's no testing involved, that you might get some significant portion of students attending who can't make it? And what's going to happen to the school if that happens?
I believe deeply that students can learn. I believe that passionately. I believe there are often times when we have failed to understand how to best educate some students. And I believe that the Doshi difference, which is one of the reasons I'm involved in this at the level, has a model that not only challenges students and looks for the best students, but can take students who may not have had, and I wish Dr. Doshi herself were here, have had the opportunity. I believe this Doshi difference can help them to meet the standard. I believe that. I believe that for all of our children with a passion, which is why I'm in education. Another part of my life, I'm what one might call a motivator. You know, and I'm constantly saying to people, you can do it. And many of these young people can do it. So that's part of it. Maria, I'll let you.
And I'll speak a little bit more to that. That's a very important question, and not one that we have not thought about in great length. Coming from the classroom for over 17 years, I recognize that most times you're going to meet a very differentiated group. Our schedule allows for us to address the need for differentiated instruction. We've put into our program, into our plan, several supports for our students. For example, we have a response to intervention program or system in place that monitors. It's constant monitoring and assessment of our students. 13, 14, 15, we have 16 different assessments throughout the school year to gauge and monitor where our students are, how they're progressing, and then be able to modify our instruction to address those needs. We do not believe in waiting till a final exam or a regents exam to determine if we were successful or not. Success is built along the way. Our program daily schedule allows for a 1.5-hour block every single day in the middle of the school day for true differentiated instruction, where students will have the opportunity to work in small settings, one-on-one with educators or teacher practitioners, and we ensure that they get what they need because we get them while they're there. We understand it's difficult once they leave our building for the support to be provided. So we ensured by putting that right in the middle block of our school schedule and our school day. So those are two different ways, and I could elaborate further, but I won't take up too much. I'm more than happy to answer any questions at a later time, but those are the two big pieces. Oh, and I'll say that one more. At the end of our school year, we have something called a mini-mester. It's a 2-week-long intensive for students who are accelerating. If they're accelerating, they'll be a part of that mini-mester and being accelerated. If they need remediation or if they need additional support or help, that 2-week mini-mester at the end of our school year will support them. We'll also do a summer institute for students before they come into the building.
And let me say to all of you who are gathered, this is our first community forum. I mentioned earlier that I'd had a meeting with the superintendent from Jericho. This is not our last. And just as we've heard from our faculty, we will continue to hear from our faculty. And we will continue to hear from you, not only in the Jericho School District, but in all of our districts. And many of the thoughts, and I've asked you to fill out a form when you leave, we will take seriously. It is not my intention to hurt anybody. It is just to strengthen the kinds of, it is just to meet the kinds of needs that we have here on Long Island and strengthen, as I said, this collaboration has got to go across the board. And I'm looking always for creative pedagogy, ways to address some of the needs that our students have. And the Doshi program has made a difference in John Bound and other places. So please know that your questions, your concerns, your tax-based concerns are not lost. And that's why we're here. And I do appreciate you being here.
As a charter school, what is the percentage of at-risk students that you have to accept as determined by the state?
There is no percentage that we have to accept.
According to the article in Newsday, it says charter schools funded by local school districts enroll students through a lottery and are required to take a percentage of at-risk students.
To the best of my knowledge, I'm sorry I didn't see who asked that question. I'm sorry if I'm not making eye contact. To the best of my knowledge, and this is just really to the best of my knowledge, I believe right now that percentage is still being determined, and they're determining how they're going to identify that percentage. But because it's an open and public school, and we're going to take whoever applies. We're required to take whoever applies. So that's to the best of my knowledge.
So, and you are going to offer remediation, because I thought this was going to be a higher level of education that didn't require offering remediation and remedial study.
The goal is to serve whoever enters our doors. So if in fact remediation is needed, we certainly will adjust and provide remediation. However, our goal and our program before is an accelerated one. And we do believe that at a certain point in that child's career, they will meet that accelerated program. So if remediation is needed, it is our responsibility, and we're aware that it's our responsibility to meet those remediation needs.
I don't know of a district, including Jericho, that doesn't have to offer some remediation. Everybody who walks through the doors of a Jericho or Westbury or any other district, there are some students, probably more than we want to admit, that need remediation. Moreover, my experience has taken me to some of the great universities and colleges across this land. They do remediation, they may use another term, at Harvard. They do it at Princeton. They do it at Yale. So our goal is to really address the students who come to us. And we think that parents who make the choice are making the choice because they believe in what we are presenting, and they believe there may be an opportunity for their children to be made ready, not only to understand what it takes to live in today's world, to meet the challenge for the living of these days, but also to be prepared for an expanding job market. You know, Long Island is losing its young people. You all know that. Yeah, not only because they can't live, but it's also because many of us are not being prepared for the opportunities that are coming down the pike. I sat on the Long Island Regional Economic Development Council just here in Hicksville. They're talking about doing development of high technology. And we have to be ready to meet it. And it's only going to become more complicated. And, you know, the simple truth is, you know, just to, I don't want to be humorous on this, but, you know, I got a droid. Now, for those of you who are in my age category, maybe you're just swift like that. But I'm telling you that the droid is giving me problems. I spent a lot of money on this damn machine. And I still don't know all the things that it can do. Our young men and women are entering into an age where the job market is going to demand the skills, and it is absolutely unconscionable that the United States of America, the greatest nation in the world, is falling behind because we're not adequately training our young people in these areas. And we have to meet that challenge.